you wicked them all. Say the wicked them all. And come down, go now. Hey, 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 hey. What you wicked them all. Say the wicked them all. When goes down, go now. Say how we are gonna do this. Oi, ready? Ha ha ha. Ready? Oi, me say how we are gonna do this. Yes, we go down, go down. Oi, sit down there, 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 sit down there. Oi, sit down there. Oi, sit down, sit down there. Sit down there, sit down there. Boy, boy, boy. Boy, boy, boy. Sit down there, sit down there. Sit down there, sit down there. Sit down there, sit down there. Sit down there. Watch you wicked them all. Did you wicked them all? Me say how we are gonna do you. Jesus, boy, watch out, watch out. Now worry about the wicked them now. Now worry about the wicked them. Tell them neighbor, come. Now worry when they talk about you. Now worry when they tell life on you. Worry they won't go back on you. Now worry what them say about you. Just catch it on the balance wheel. 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 Jesus on your balance. Boy, trouble. Watch out. Watch you wicked them all. Say the wicked them all. And come down, go now. Hey, 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 hey. Watch you wicked them all. Say the wicked them all. When goes down, go now. Me say how we are gonna do this. Oi, ready? Ha ha ha. Ready? Oi, me say how we are gonna do this. Yes, we go down, go down. Oi, sit down there, 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 sit down there. Oi, sit down there. Oi, sit down. Sit down there, sit down there, sit down there. Boy. Sit down there, 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 sit down there. Watch you wicked them all. Did you wicked them all? Me say how we are gonna do you. Boy, get some of it. Me say how we are gonna do you. Boy, go down. Now Jesus, boy, watch out. Now worry about the wicked them now. Now worry about the wicked them. Tell them neighbor, come. Now worry when they talk about you. Now worry when they tell life on you. Worry they won't go back on you. Now worry what them say about you. Just catch it on the balance wheel. 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 Jesus on your balance. Boy, trouble. Watch out. Watch you wicked them all. Say the wicked them all. And come down, go What goes on, goes on. Dennis, talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Me say how we are gonna do this. Oi, ready? Ha ha ha. Ready? Oi. Me say how we are gonna do this. Yes. Oi. Sit down there. 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 Oi. Sit down there. Oi. Sit down. Sit down there. Sit down there. Sit down there. Boy, boy, boy. Boy, boy, boy. Sit down there. 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 Watch we kill them. Did we kill them? Me say how we are gonna do yes. Oh yes. Yes. Me say how we are gonna do yes. Oh yes. Now Jesus. Boy. Watch out, watch out. Now worry about the wicked them now. Now worry about the wicked them. Tell them neighbor, come. Now worry when they talk about you. Now worry when they tell life on you. Worry they walk over their pan you. Now worry what them say about you. Just catch it on the balance wheel. 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 Jesus and your balance.
So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want to right there that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Happy Tuesday to those in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone has had a wonderful and productive start to the week so far. Let me give a special shout out to all our channel members. I see Karine is in the chat. Also, Linda McCormick, bless up yourself. Thank you so much for the extra support. And to all of our moderators, bless up yourself. Remember, guys, when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Tonight's topic is DPP Engagement with your host, Mystic Sensation, which comprises Baron and Anne-Marie. We should be joined shortly by Melting Pot, Daisy Magazine, and also Mr. Rattigan. Let me just give an umbrella welcome to everyone in the chat because the chat is gone. So an umbrella welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for your continued support. Really appreciate each and every one. We don't take anything for granted because we know there are so many other platforms out there and you chose to be with us. So we really appreciate that. Without any delay, I am going to hand over to Baron so he can start the discussion.
All right. Thank you, Lady Mystic. And let me say, right, big welcome to all the persons who tune in, right, just now, right, and, you know, continue to follow us. We are saying big thanks to you all, right, and of course to our intuitive chat group, right, quite interactive. Right, big up yourself, bless up yourself all, and umbrella, welcome. Now, I am feeling so happy. Does anyone hear anything about the Paul Buchanan case? Because, you know, we are anticipating that, and, you know, I mean, I don't understand why we have not, you know, be in receipt of such information. I don't know what is going on because I doubt that the court would be, you know, still in session, right? It is what, roughly about 7:40 in Jamaica, right? But you know, I call around and everything is just silent. Well, someone is calling. I'm wondering if this person know anything. Let me just hear from this person. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to give you a little heads up. I just hear you talk about the thing with Paul Buchanan there. So that's why I just want to give you a little heads up.
Yes.
What really happened based on what I get to understand, because you can get in touch with Bolo too, and Bolo can give you something to Durval.
Yes.
The problem is that the prime minister never turn up.
Hey.
So the prime minister don't turn up. So July gonna be I don't remember the exact date in July gonna be the next court, but based on what me understand, it's good for Mr. Buchanan. So if you can get a little heads up, try to see if you can, before you even go further, and if you have a chance, just try to see if you can link Bolo, and then from Bolo you will hear.
Okay, well, I know that Bolo will soon come into the chat if he's not in the chat already. But you know what?
Right.
All right. I'm
But good news.
Yes.
Good news for Mr. Buchanan.
Okay, I really appreciate that though, because well, it seems like it is going to turn out positive. The prime minister is now.
Yes.
So now that we understand that the prime minister is just utilizing delay tactics.
Yes.
Oh, mighty goodness, mighty goodness. All right, thank you. Really appreciate.
So I'm in the chat and so on, but good news. I'm telling you, it's a good news. So Bolo will give you the link up if you can link him.
Yeah, man. Bolo will call me. By the show, if you done, Bolo will call me. All right. Bless up.
Yes, Bolo will tell you.
All right.
Later. All
yes.
right, bye.
Let me take this caller. I mean, it seems like person just want. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Please go ahead.
Blessings. I heard the other previous caller was giving you an update.
Yes.
But it all depends on which news sources you have.
Okay.
I was listening to CVM, and CVM stated, which you know, CVM is government owned.
Yes.
Allegedly. Yeah. They said that there was a conflict because Mr. Buchanan had a professional relationship with one of the judges. So that's why it was postponed. So don't know which one is the logical thing, but because Mr. Comrade, I believe, said the Prime Minister not show up kind of in there, because why him liar would I know say there's a conflict. When Mr. Buchanan liar never know there's a conflict. You see what I say?
Yes.
But
read it.
This is all
right. So
well,
that is it. So it all depends on where you get the confirmed valid news from. So all the sources out there right now just chop it for them way.
But you know, I find it unfortunate, as what my wife just said, that it was long in the process. Why they're just finding out that okay, all right, Buchanan has an association with that so-called judge. That doesn't make sense.
If Hollis attorney had that heads up, why Mr. Buchanan attorney didn't have that heads up? That Mr. Holness can tackle himself, but then Mr. Buchanan show up like he not understand and then tell him. You see me show you? And
no, that is totally what you call an organized delay tactics at the last minute.
Because him knew say him name they go there. Him take for himself because he know what it come.
Well,
so
you see,
take for himself.
And this goes, sister, that we fully understand the type of person who we are dealing with. Someone who is very much dishonest, right? And trickify and deceitful.
And this is what, because I can't vote for Jamaica. But when he was young, I thought, yay, young people, good thing, give it a change.
Yes.
But from halfway through it,
oh my goodness,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why them do it again. But are we the people suffering?
Okay. So it
suffer.
So it postponed until next month.
No, June 27th.
Oh, June 20.
The exact date.
June 27th.
Anyhow, if CVM give the correct date,
yes,
because you can't trust them for them mouth twist, them can't even run a good program and have the something there. They run and not chop off halfway through the program in the segment.
I don't understand that if you're talking about June 27th,
5 days from now,
and it is which is actually 4 days from now. So then,
that's what I'm saying.
so 4 days from now,
23rd.
yeah, 4 days from now.
Can they get a different judge?
That
So
is,
why you couldn't
sister,
get
come on. You know what I'm going to ask.
You understand?
You know what I'm going to
If
ask.
you know, if you
And
know
27th is
before
Saturday.
today,
Somebody
Are you putting
27th
already?
is Saturday, so July 1.
yeah.
And the 27th is
Nonsense.
Saturday. It's on a Saturday.
So no court proceedings.
Yeah.
So a non-court proceeding take place on a Saturday. What is going on?
But I said, don't quote me on the date exactly.
Okay.
Because it's some June something. If you can get a quick clip of CVM, you will hear the date that they stated. But you can't take for them word either, because them is just a rumor mill, just like the other no name, no people. You understand?
So whatever what
the ends and the ends.
July 27th.
yes, whatever what it seems like, you know, his lawyer might suspect that you might have two of the judge going Buchanan way, and them just try to, you understand, to try to come up with something to.
Which part this man ever walk clean and clear that you don't have to question?
This is what
he thrives
July
on
27th.
conspiracy, and also in terms of instability.
Almighty God. Well, I mean, look, and this is to show you that this man forced himself onto the people. You understand? Such a dictator. You understand? Because this sort of behavior.
Try to keep like how Dalrymple have a book. Him have a book for everybody, and when him have to pay up, him collect whether they want pay or not. Him have to collect.
So how long him think him can, you understand, utilize strategies? And you know, obviously, you know, if he knows that he didn't steal the election, why coming up with all of these trickeries? You know that, okay, all right.
But that's the thing that thrills him. Not even a woman don't thrill him like these games. That's what you call a narcissist. Because these things give him, see, them can't catch me simple out there. You can't simple so because God are the dealer.
Exactly.
You understand? So if I go get catch, we might not see it right now, but
this time,
every dog at them there, every push up them 4 o'clock. That's all me I say.
well, guess what? They're going to have to discuss whatever so-called association that him and the judge have, and they have to prove it. They can't just say, okay, all right, you and the judge have an association and so forth. They're going to have to come up with some tangible evidence. You understand? So, you know, I mean,
but that's what you're putting in the real world and the real judicial principles.
Yes.
He doesn't walk those lines. He doesn't. Him and the wife don't walk them, because it's a tag team right there. So with everybody, I said they don't get along and this and that. I'm glad when you said that.
Yes.
But
yes.
trust me,
yes.
business-wise, them are sight can trim.
Yes, I can trim. So true. Bonnie and Clyde, it seems.
In business, got out the so because what? She can't lose and him can't lose. If you even watch the parliament, anytime that the PNP come for present, the two of them take for themselves. Quick, unless them did it, they fight down.
Yes.
The person presenting.
What a thing
and
do?
Only when they favorite labor right and stay there to support him. Because if I want them partial labor right, then gone.
Exactly.
We can't keep track of when they must say, madam or sir.
It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Because it's like every minute Juliet have stoppage of water and Andrew have stoppage of water and then gone.
Well, you know, I mean, people are realizing. Well, more people are getting on the bus in saying that, you know, okay, all right, he is what he is: corrupted, deceitful, dishonest, you name it, right? And so then
that's
people
what
are
was told. They didn't want to believe it because
Yes.
$5,000 back then was enough money.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
5,000 can't buy a pound of chicken back now.
exactly well. There you go, right?
Yeah.
So basically, right? Thanks to inform us as it relates to the update. We really appreciate
I
that.
just wanted to give it that quick because your information is valid and a lot of people depend on it.
Yes.
So I wouldn't want them to say you're spreading rumors. All right.
All right.
Blessings, domestic, and
Blessings,
your wife.
blessings,
Bless up,
my
bless
sister.
up.
All right,
Back to
Blessings.
class.
all right.
Blessings, Bolo.
Yes, Bolo.
Maximum
Big up,
respect.
big up yourself, Bolo. Right. Okay. All right. So that is it as it relates to Paul Buchanan case.
Bolo wanted to call and give
We
us-
have been told that it postponed until the 27th, right?
It says July 27th it's a Saturday as well.
July 27th.
Let me just
Bolo, you want to give me a call, Bolo, because and see if you have I don't know.
if you have any additional
Right, because the
yeah.
date 27th, June 27th seems to be a Saturday. July 27th seems to again be a Saturday.
That's what they're saying. I'm going to
And no court will be keeping on those days and weekends. We don't have that. Right? So something is just not right. Something is just not right. Right? This is crazy though. This is crazy. But I am saying in all of this, if Andrew Oles know for sure, okay, Bolo is calling us. Yes, my brother, can you give us some update?
Yeah, I just want to talk to Tika and Durval and London 45 was there. The date here is Saturday. I don't know about that, but that them they tell me still. So the 27th. But the gist of the thing is this. What I hear from them is that basically the lawyers of Andrew was arguing that him filed too late, but the judge showed that. So now the affidavits, that's what I hear. The judge showed that out. So the affidavits of Mr. Paul Buchanan, based off of the law, you just need one, but you have multiple affidavits. So due process have to go through. So what I am understanding is that if Andrew or the lawyer did not show up because they didn't have to push it back to September, they not show up next month, it's gonna go into the process of either Mr. Buchanan get the seat or there's a re-election.
Awesome. So then we can say thus far it is a good news for Paul Buchanan. Thus far.
Yeah man. If you look at Paul Buchanan and London 45 TikTok page,
Yes.
the judge, the lawyer, Mr. Hugh Wildman and him,
Yes.
and the three of them was very upbeat, so it was very positive news. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put out that video shortly with the full conversation between me and Tika and Durval. So,
Okay, good.
Yeah, man.
All right. Thank you for that.
So July 27th is a Monday.
It's a Monday. It's a Monday.
Oh, it's a Monday.
It's a Monday.
July 27th is a Monday. So that seems okay. That sounds like it.
Yeah, man.
Because remember, Mystic Sensation pick up any little deviant, So
that's I'm saying whenever I look for the date, I say, "Let me call you, God, that's so that way."
all right.
But I don't think they would have made a mistake like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, man, big up yourself.
Blessings, Bolo. All right, cool.
Later. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. So, we couldn't get into our business of the day today without get into Isaac Buchanan. We have to give our listeners, for many of those who are already tuned in, but I want to, dissect some areas where Isaac Buchanan delivered. I mean, trust me, he was so immaculate, right? Well done by Isaac Buchanan, right? Who delivered well. What a representation! What a representation! So without any delay, let me just give you some of what was communicated by Isaac Buchanan, right? Touching, topical issues, really love Isaac Buchanan performance. What a piece of performance. Listen up, people.
Well, he has found a wife, and that is good. Madam Speaker, this is not a pitch to regain my time, which I would have lost, or if I lose it from disorder in the House. But I thank you for representing images of Black excellence and invite you to protect me from my colleagues on the other side who may forget that the basic human decency is owed to me, and they ought to simply listen to the wealth of knowledge and information I intend to share, as they may miss the context. Should they misbehave and cause you to intervene, as you are the umpire of fairness in this honorable House. Authority for my request is grounded in Standing Orders 40A and B. And I also seek your permission to speak the Jamaican language as it may flow naturally as I embark on a topic that I'm passionate about.
Same.
And finally, Madam Speaker.
Hold on, thank you for that. If you are asking that a motion be moved, I so do move to allow the member to speak in a local dialect from time to time in his presentation. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Have you ensured that you have not robbed him of any time?
Okay. Please give me back my 2 minutes. And finally, Madam Speaker, before I officially begin, I have only one complaint to make against the Honorable Prime Minister today. He simply cannot be going around identifying himself as a German fan after I have invited members of the House, including the leader of opposition, to do the right thing and be a wagonist while he still can. He's representing Brazil. That's his team. But we're asking him to be a wagonist. So please, he's not here today. But I don't know which standing orders that is, but permit me, protect me. Thank you. And lastly, we are guided by a noted gospel artist. Be guided by a noted gospel artist in your ruling today. Jesus is the only king for life. We are explode like dynamite. Thank you. Madam Speaker, context matters. The government has presented its record. It is the duty of Her Majesty's, forgive me, His Majesty's loyal opposition, not merely to applaud the announcements, but to ask the harder questions behind the launches, the ribbon cuttings, the impressive sounding totals. Are children safer? Are they learning? Are they working? Are they being prepared to be a citizen of a free and sovereign republic? On the evidence, much of it the government's own, the answer is not yet and not nearly fast enough. I make this contribution in the spirit of opposition that this House should aspire to. Not opposition for its own sake, but opposition that holds government to account of interest demands. It's nowhere is that readiness more important than on the road to republic, to which I will come to. Madam Speaker, there's a gap between the announcement and the child. The government speaks of transformation, but transformation is not measured in press conferences. It is not measured in the life, it is measured in the life of a child. And by that measure, too many of our children are being left behind in plain sight. And we use the government's own figures because they are the most damning witnesses of all. Violence in our schools. The government owns critical incident reports recorded 55 critical incidents in our schools across a single reporting year. Gang violence, stabbings, robberies, and attempted abduction and sexual assault. By the government's own arithmetic, with 190 school days in the year, that is a critical incident in our education system roughly every 3.5 school days. The minister called it, and I quote her, utter madness. Madam Speaker, I agree, but naming the madness is not the same as ending it. We are told school resource officers no longer operate physically from our schools, and we are told of frameworks, of behavior support teams, of restorative practice memoranda. These are not worthless, but a framework is not a presence, and a memorandum has never stopped a knife. The opposition asks simple questions as parents ask. When my child walks through that gate, who is responsible for her safety, and are they actually there? Violence in our schools is the overflow of violence in our communities and in too many of our homes. The opposition accepts the minister's point that this is a shared national responsibility, but sharing responsibility cannot become a way of us. Properly staffed guidance and dean of discipline establishments in every school that needs them, functioning monitored CCTV, not a tender perpetually about to go out, and a justice and social protection system that intervenes early before the funeral and not after. A child protection emergency. Madam Speaker, let this House sit with one number. In a single year, the Child Protection and Family Service Agency received over 13,500 reports concerning our children. More than 6,300 of them distress calls to the 211 hotline. Behind trafficking are real Jamaican children. The minister said she wanted Jamaicans to be appalled by the number. Madam Speaker, we are. The question is what the state or what will the state do with this appallment? Yes, the 211 line exists and it should be commended and publicized. Yes, therapeutic centers have been opened at Maxfield Park and Windsor and a sensory room at Muirton Boys Home. But a handful of centers serving a few hundred children cannot be the national answer to 13,000 cries for help. The opposition wants to know how many of those 13,531 reports were investigated to conclusion, how many children were actually removed from danger, how long is the wait for a child protection investigator, a clinical social worker, or a place of safety. The dignity of a child is not honored by the building we open, it is honored by whether the child is in fact protected. The government's own indicators tell a story about literacy at the grade 4 levels, and it stands at 68%, numeracy at 64%. At the secondary level, the pass rate in CSEC mathematics is reported at 41.6%. Madam Speaker, that means roughly 1 in 3 of our children cannot read with confidence at grade 4, and well over half are leaving the secondary system without a pass in the single subject most tied to employment and to the STEM's future. This government says it wants. So we cannot declare ourselves a STEM island while the foundation is this fragile. This is where youth policy and constitutional principle meet. The opposition has long argued and has been prepared to argue in the courts that access to publicly funded early childhood education is not a luxury, but ration, but a foundation to be guaranteed. 80% of our early childhood institutions are privately run. The brain is built before age 5. If we are serious about literacy at grade 4, we must be serious about the 3-year-old today. The opposition will press for a clear funded pathway to train teachers in every early childhood institution, not as an aspiration over the period of the transformation, but on a timetable this House can hold the government to. The unattached and the unemployed. Madam Speaker, the government celebrates a low national unemployment rate, but the headline hides the young person. Youth unemployment remains roughly 3 times the national rate, and the figure does not capture our gravest problem. The unattached young people
All right. I just want to give bits of what Isaac had discussed, a very topical issue and quite concerning, right, as it relates to, the safety and security of our youth, right, and that should be paramount to the government. But obviously, as it relates to this government, right, that Isaac is now speaking on, violence against our children, including child molestation, child trafficking, right, undereducated youths, and the limited structure to educate our children in a safe and secure environment. These are some serious issues. But what I notice in terms of Isaac Buchanan highlighting these things, right, it is a pattern with the Jamaica Labour Party when it comes to, you know, the education of our youths, right? That always been neglected. And if you check the history, you realize that when it comes to education overall, right, the Jamaica Labour Party governance, right, that situation, the education system always fail. The amount of children, you know, not able to adequately function, right? It's really just a crisis. It's really just a crisis. But again, we talk about the arrogance of this government and what they are doing in terms of, you know, damaging our nation. You can't say that you're building a nation. Let me say this. You can't say that you're building a nation, a better nation, right? A nation to be resilient, and you abandon our youths. It can't be. You have to ensure that, to make sure that you're building resilience into the future. Our youth education is paramount. Paramount. They have to have that solid foundation, right? From basic going upward. Because if our youths lose, you know, the basic principles of education, then I mean, we have the situation like what we have. And Jamaica Labour Party, I don't know what Dana Morrison is doing, but obviously our education system is failing and failing rapidly, right? And that is very serious. Now, what get me upset today, again, right? And we thank Brother Isaac for that. What get me rather upset today, as it relates to Pernell Charles, got up in the parliament and act as if he's doing a world of good to the security guard in terms of, you know, seems like he wants to take praise to raise security guard salary by $1,000, right? Let me just put up Sister Maria here, right? Want to raise security guard pay by $1,000, right, per week. Now, let us break that down as it relates to what they will be getting, you know, 5 days a week. $200. But you ask yourself, what is the cost of a patty? One patty. A patty is roughly somewhere about what? $300-400, I don't know. Right? If someone can tell me in the chat, you understand how much it is for a patty. Right? Then you tell me what the government is doing. And the government don't see it fit in terms of saying to themselves that, okay, let us try to build resilience and lead by example. The government take 200 and 300% raise and offering meager pay, meager stipend, right? That no one can survive on. Because if you buy a bag juice, as what communicated, you can't buy a patty. Right? And here, Shernet type in the chat, $320 for a patty. So now, come on, Pernell Charles. Pernell Charles, you need to go back to the drawing board. Right? $200 per day as it relates to a work week, 5-day work week. And you're really coming up parliament and speaking on that. That's a shame and disgrace. Shame and disgrace, knowing to the fact that you people took 200 and 300% raise. And guess what? Not doing one thing, nothing. And what we are getting? A high level of criminality. high level of criminality. So let me just bring in Sister Maria to make a comment on that as well. Sister Maria, welcome to the program.
Greetings, my brother. Greetings. Hallelujah. I should have got a Honda. Greetings, Anne-Marie. What's going on? And to everybody in the chat, a blessed Tuesday evening. And it's so much things to say right now, so much to get through and so little time to do it. But, you know, God is good, and we come here in this space and we try to do our best to help our fellow Jamaicans be better, make better decisions, and understand policies from a very simple perspective, that they can be informed and educated voters, and to do their best to challenge the government and hold them accountable, because Andrew Holness did tell them that they must hold the government accountable. So they have to do that. Thank you.
All right. That's Sister Maria there. Now, we are going to get into some very serious issues, right? There's an interview that Cliff Hughes had done, and Cliff Hughes told some lies to Jamaica, particularly the information around FID, right? And it is just quite unbelievable that Cliff Hughes would have come out, right, and spoke those lies. But you have seen also, right, a design that organized by Andrew Holness, Vegas, and Cliff Hughes to demoralize the Integrity Commission, right? Which is totally unfair and unbecoming. Now, let me just play something for you, and let me say this, people. I know that you don't even like to hear Vegas, but let me tell you something. You see, when we hear certain propaganda, we have to stop it in the track. Because remember, it was the propaganda of FinSAC that they had used, right, against the People's National Party. And if we did not come out and push it back, they would have gotten away with it. So we can't allow certain things to fly. But I want to show you the disrespect and the disregard, right, for the Integrity Commission investigators and the lies that they told about FID. So, and we have the evidence that we are going to show this evening. So without any delay, let me have you listen to Vegas in terms of what Vegas is saying here.
To the coverage, especially on political matters from nationwide. I believe that the organization is credible. I believe that, you know, there's a level of fairness when it comes down to reporting. So I big up Cliff Hughes and George, you know, in my close circles whenever we speak on, you know, and how they carry our report on these matters. With that said, though, I totally disagree with Mr. Cliff Hughes' take on the Andrew Wheatley matter. Why I disagree with Mr. Hughes, and if you haven't seen the video basically, my inference of the video is Cliff Hughes is advising Dr. Andrew Holness to fire Dr. Wheatley, or Dr. Wheatley should resign, but Andrew Holness should make that call. And why I disagree with Cliff Hughes, yeah, on this take. I do not believe anyone should be fired. I do not believe anyone should resign. In this case, Dr. Wheatley. Why? The Integrity Commission is not a credible body. The Integrity Commission cannot be trusted with whatever information is released to the public via the Parliament after it's tabled. We have seen countless times where the Integrity Commission erred in misrepresenting numbers, misrepresenting information, going out of the zone, out of the boundaries, outside of the boundaries to conduct investigations. We have seen where the Integrity Commission withheld a forensic report from the public in the case of Dr. Andrew Willis. A $30 million forensic report is still not available to the public for us to see what they found, or if they found anything on Dr. Andrew Willis. Why did the Integrity Commission not attach that report to the report that they sent to Parliament about Dr. Andrew Willis? Because they want the Jamaican people to think that Dr. Andrew Willis is a criminal.
Yeah.
That is the only way they can attack him. They cannot attack him on performance. They have to attack his credibility. They have to attack his character. Let me give you some more, Mr. Hughes. Look at the situation with FLA. Yeah? The Integrity Commission acted on an anonymous email, an email that was circulating through different channels. They sent it to the Observer, they sent it to Dr. Andrew Willis, they sent it all over. I think you might have gotten it. And the FLA acted on an anonymous. Remember, they can't tell you, or they don't know who this is. So if the person is mischievous, they cannot even charge the person, or persons, or people who are behind this email. But of course, they investigated the FLA. And what was the investigation based on? Guns and ammunition missing from the FLA. The report concluded no guns were missing. What did they find? Some ammunitions were.
We are going to take away, obviously, right, this piece of nonsense, right, this piece of trash. And here he is, and that's why we're going to expose a lot of things tonight. Here he is disrespecting the Integrity Commission body that they have no integrity. Let us show Jamaica who are the persons, right, dealing with the Integrity Commission. I want you to look at this, Jamaica. Look at this. Here is Vegas. So let us show Jamaica our distinguished, hard-working commissioners.
Hold the line, sorry, hold the line.
All right, the caller want to quickly speak here. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yes, just about what you just play with this. Why name?
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas had this information, inside information, because he's talking with such confidence.
Yes.
And he comes now to Malin and put down the Integrity Commission. Why didn't he do that prior to all this?
There you go.
That is one. And two, his prime minister was accusing, saying the PNP should, when Cliff Hughes asked about if he has any confidence into the IC. Why didn't Andrew Onis answer that question? He keeps on bypassing that question. It's not for him to come now, Vegas him come out now and come run off in 14 about such, you know, I think it's too high for him.
Oh, yes.
Because what we hear him say is like him tell we now said the oversight, the credible oversight body that is in place to check and balance government officials in this capacity lacks credibility, which I think it's baloney.
And this is, if he's touting that, it's the same thing Andrew Owen is doing, even by action, by bringing the IC to court and asking for illicit enrichment to be removed. And we must kibosh such wickedness, because Cliff Hughes asked Andrew and he couldn't answer it. Who is Vegas to answer? Good night. Me gone back to class.
Well said, Carla. Love that, and precisely so. But look on who that Vegas is trying to malign. Here you have the Honorable Miss Justice retired Carol Lawrence Beswick, right? And she's the chairperson, right? Retired justice, retired judge, right? Here we have again Miss Pamela Monroe Ellis, right? FCCA and CA, right? As it relates to her accounting status. Here we have again the Honorable Mr. Brian Winter, OGCD Commissioner. Now, here also we have Mr. H. Wayne Powell, ODJP Commissioner, and the Honorable Justice retired Lloyd Ebert, right? And just imagine, right, if we are to go into their bio, these are the people that, you know, Vegas is maligning. Look on, let us read a bit about Miss Justice Carol Lawrence Beswick. Right? Okay, it is not there as yet. All right. Let me just go to
Google it.
Yes, okay. All right. When we look at Miss Pamela Monroe Ellis, was appointed Auditor General of Jamaica in 2008. In 2012, she was appointed to the board of the International Federation of Accounts. International Federation of Accounts, right? Very advanced, where she served for 6 years during her tenure at the IFAC. She served on both the audit committee and chaired the government committee for 3 years, governance committee for 3 years. Mrs. Monroe Ellis was appointed Secretary General of the Caribbean Organization of the Supreme Audit Institution, Carosa, in 2016. Now you're talking about distinguished people and this little piece of piss and tail, right? Now this little piece of piss and tail. Now let us get into the bio of Mr. Honorable Mr. Bryan, right? Coming soon. No bio is there yet, but let us get into, right, Mr. H. Wayne Powell, to show you that this guy is out of order, out of place. Now, Mr. H. Wayne Powell is a business, financial, and leadership consultant with a 45-year history in banking and finance, both locally and internationally. So when you're talking about the investigation that has to deal with, right, Andrew Wheatley, these people who provide oversight of such, they are highly credible. Highly credible.
Yeah, but before you move, let me read Carol Lawrence Beswick's bio, okay?
Yes.
Carol Lawrence Beswick is a Jamaican jurist. She currently serves as the senior puisne judge of the Supreme Court of Jamaica. Carol Beswick is a 1973 graduate of Hollins University. In 1977, she completed an LLB at the University of the West Indies. For a time, she served as Jamaica's Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions. In 2001, she was appointed to the Supreme Court of Jamaica. In 2014, she was one of 5 women to be appointed to the Court of Appeal. For her service, she has received the Distinguished Alumni Award from Hollins University. Lawrence Beswick was married to Paul Beswick until his passing in 2021. And she has a daughter who is also a lawyer. And you can go down, look at all the references. All they have to do is Google it. So I'm reading it in comparison to what what's his face said. because I mean, you know, the Prime Minister's watered it down so much that people like Vegas can disrespect these qualified professionals, these persons who have served with dignity, with integrity, distinguished members of the legal fraternity. So we cannot allow them to come and disrespect these people like that.
Exactly, Sister Maria, and that is one of the reasons why, you understand, we are showing Jamaica, right, the people who are working for the Integrity Commission and for the Prime Minister, you understand, and Vegas and Big Mama to malign, right, these people, these distinguished people, right, is a moral wrong. The Prime Minister is out of his wits, and plus told a vicious lie about FID, and we are going to prove it. Now, look at Mr. H. Wayne Powell. He's a business, financial, and leadership consultant with a 45-year history in banking and finance, both locally and internationally. So let me say this now. When I have Mr. Wayne Powell, right, and where that report would have run across Mr. Wayne Powell, and Mr. Wayne Powell have a 45-year history in banking. Look at the situation with Andrew Wheatley, right? And definitely decided, say, okay, all right, we are going forward. Who is Andrew Ones? Who is Big Mama? Who is Vegas? To question the integrity of these people. Now, where he served in many leadership positions, ending with executive vice president in charge of Retail Bank and several of its subsidiary companies. So let me tell you something. You don't have no kwashi. You don't have any kwashi working for the Integrity Commission. And so for Vegas to come, right, and Andrew Wallace and Big Mama to malign them, it is wrong. It is a moral wrong. In addition, he served as an alternate director of Scotiabank Jamaica board, well as chaired and are served on several of the bank's subsidiary board. Over his 45-year career, Adrian held several clerical, supervisory, management, and leadership positions across the operational framework of the bank, covering operation, marketing, finance, investment, corporate, and retail banking. Now, let me just go to someone else. Out of order and bright. Out of order and bright. Now, let me just go to the last here. Now, let us talk about the Honorable Mr. Justice Lyde Ebert, attending Woolmer's Boys School and thereafter joined the staff of the Resident Magistrate Court as an assistant clerk of court. He, after acting as a clerk of courts in 1973, enrolled in the Faculty of Law of the University of West Indies. In 1976, he graduated with a Bachelor of Law, right, degree, and thereafter was enrolled at the Norman Manley Law School, from which he obtained a certificate of legal education in 1978. Later that year, he joined the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution as an assistant Crown Counsel and grew through the ranks to the position of Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecution. So guess what? You are not talking about any fre. You're talking about once held the position of Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecution. So when they are providing oversight as it relates to the investigators, right, and making sure that that oversight, right, being anchored, right, on values, merit, and accountability. And here you are, fresh in yourself. In 1985, he acted as a judge of the family court for St. James and Hanover. In 1995, he was appointed to the Inner Bar as one of Her Majesty's Queen Counsel. This person is a Queen Counsel, you know, used to be a Queen Counsel. And now, he would have been King Counsel because, you understand, we are dealing with a king now.
Yeah.
So this man's status, you understand, we can call it King Counsel. And you, Vegas, Andrew, and Big Mama, right, try to malign the character of these men, well distinguished Person, take it away on it. Take it away. Now, when you listen to Vegas, I'm just going to make, right, the panel, right, speak. But let me just first have Mr. Rattigan meet and greet. Right, Brother Rattigan, meet and greet as usual.
Yes, good evening, good evening. Sorry to be late. If it's Tuesday night.
Sound solid, man.
Sister, big up yourself, Sister Maria.
Well, my brother.
Byron and all of the lovely people watching tonight. If it's Tuesday night, it's Mystic Night. Again, I apologize for being here. I sent my apologies to the Emperor and his Empress.
Yes.
I'd be late because a meeting came up suddenly and I had to be there. So again, apologies, but I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, not a problem. Ratty, take it on the run now. Take it on the run since you're up there. As it relates to these distinguished persons, and Vegas are saying, you understand that these people lack integrity, right? And the way Andrew Owners sound, right? To say that, of course, would want to give some signal, right, that there's, some integrity issues there. What do you have to say in terms of all of this?
Regarding those three persons you mentioned,
yes,
I would have just said to them, look who attack. That's what I would. Look who attack. Mystic, I use this phrase, I picked it up years ago and I use it frequently, and it is ignore ignorance.
Ignore ignorance.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't make sense to talk about them. Give them no visibility, but let them stay in the dark, because it's obvious to me that these people, they don't read and they don't understand, or if they do, them so biased. I mean, we're all biased now, but they're so biased that them can't see the forest from the trees, or they won't see the forest from the trees. And some people, I had a long conversation with somebody today, who is a member of the ruling party, and it was a revelation, because the person said to me that some of the members, they're so biased that even when truth hit them and make them kin pupalik, them still get up and say a lie. So some people you just can't do anything with them, brethren.
Brother Ratty, before we let you go, as it relates to Paul Buchanan's situation, right? And I know that you and Mr. Wildman, right?
Yeah.
You are a strong associate, right? How does it look? How does it look going forward for Paul Buchanan? Just give me a little assurance.
I believe, and I spoke to him today, and I forgot to ask him because he's on another trial today, but I believe the argument was yesterday.
Yes.
But based on what I know about it, it's a very, very good case.
Thank you.
A very good case.
That's all I want.
Yeah, it's just waiting now for the court to just formalize the decision.
That's all I want to hear. Sister Maria, all right, talk to us in terms of, the sort of maligning that taking place by Big Mama, Andrew Holness, and none other than, what them call him, somebody call him name in the chat, Him have him right name in the chat. What the person call him in the chat? Scroll up the chat there. Somebody call, some widow. Black Widow. And what Black Widow has to say, right? Black Widow is out of his league. What say you, Sister Maria?
His widow's might. The reason he can sit there and speak so disparagingly of these distinguished Jamaicans is because the Prime Minister leads the pack like that. The Prime Minister has removed professionals from positions of importance, and he has installed his friends. He's talking about the FID. He's talking about the Integrity Commission. What the government needs to do is fund the Integrity Commission. Fund them. Give them the resources that they need to hire the staff and to do the services, or that they apply the services that they need to further their investigations, be it forensically or otherwise. Provide the money for them. because the government has been hamstringing them for a long time. And it is not fair to just say, oh, the Inter Commission not doing this and they are corrupt and they are this and they don't have any integrity. First of all of those persons who serve on the Integrity Commission have more credibility and integrity than in their tip of their fingernail than Vegas has in his entire body for as long as he has been alive. Okay? So you cannot put his name, and when he just a size up himself, he just too little bit of my case, and just enough and plenty. You know? Because if people like those, if you ask them who is mention Vegas name, they say, who is that? What is that? A person, place, or a thing? So, you cannot give credibility to people like Vegas because he's part of the problem of the corruption in Jamaica. What is he benefiting from? Because when you look at the FID, Dennis Strong is not, and will not be qualified for that position. He doesn't have the skill set necessary for that job. But yet, it was watered down to accommodate him. So when they come out and say qualified people don't have their skill set and they lack integrity and credibility, they're projecting. They are projecting. And another thing, you see, if this was Mark Golding that this report came out about, and if the report against Dr. Wheatley applied to an Isaac Buchanan or Dayton Campbell or Angela Brownberg, Andrew Holness and his tribe would burn down Jamaica. To get them out of Parliament. They would. Believe it. They would. Because look at what Andrew Holness did to Richard Azan. And all Richard Azan did was build 6 stalls to benefit poor people. And Andrew Holness and Pernell Charles, who have over 1,200 acres of land in St. Thomas. God alone knows how he got it. Here they said it was a dark day and the Prime Minister cannot fire him and whatever. Yes. Right? Remember what they did with Fenton Ferguson. And you listen to him speak and you say to yourself, on whose behalf is he speaking? Because Vegas is in that position because of poor people. Vegas did not get into that position because of Andrew Holness and the JLP elites. He did not get there. It's poor people while Vegas has recognition. Okay? And he's now pissing on those same poor people and telling them that it is raining. Because the corruption, is he saying that there's no corruption in Jamaica? 5% of Jamaica's GDP is lost to corruption. 5%. And the information, all he has to do is read. All he has to do is read. In ISAT's presentation, 1 in 3 children who cannot read at grade 4 level are not literate. Yes. That is what we need to be talking about, my brothers. That's what we need to be talking about. So, mix me with Vegas and his foolishness, because the truth of the matter is, if you listen to Vegas anymore, you're going cuss bad and you're just going to sin. You're just going to sin.
Yes, exactly, Sister Maria. Well said. All right. Let us just, okay, all right. Let me have Bolo speak to us. Yes, Bolo, you're on live. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, man. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, man. Clear. You're coming good.
Yes.
All right, so big up to the panel, big up to Miss Daisy and we're together ourselves. In regards to this particular topic, one request from Mr. Wiratigan to do a show on the Hansard of the tabling or the debate of the ICT report, and if you can let us know, I myself is very interested. I'm trying to find the Hansard for that as a reference to find out what exactly were the gaps that they discussed in the IC report at the time, because I already speak on it already. And I think it's going to provide great context where, the leader is concerned of the Jamaica Labour Party, because in that debate, they would have, in that debate or whatever they had on the hand side, they would have known where the gaps are and what needed improvement. Secondly, would I love if we find the clip where Andrew said in 2019 that this is the best integrity commission framework or anti-corruption framework in the Caribbean, and it just needs a little bit of support and all of those things. And as soon as now he's on an investigation they are the worst thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, but hold on, Bola, let me help you with that. Hold on, Bola, let me help you with that. 2018, Andrew Ones spoke highly of the Integrity Commission investigators. 2019, he spoke highly of the Integrity Commission. 2021, right, he spoke highly until they came out. You understand that they are not going to certify his statutory declaration. Then he stopped from speak highly of them. Can you imagine the level of corruption? He used to speak highly of them from before. Highly of them from before. So of course, Ratigan can give you the detail of that, right?
Yeah, man, I love into a show on that. I love to find the Hansard, where to go to find the Hansard for that.
Yes,
specific kind of debate.
Ratigan have it, man. Ratigan have it. I know that Ratigan have it, so you can get it.
Can find it one video on platform where we can go and list it if into it already.
Yes.
Right? But in terms of Vegas, the only question I would ask Vegas if any pundits them are listening. What is your standard to judge somebody based on their action or integrity is concerned? Because I think that is critical.
I'm not certain. I'm not. Hold on the Bola. I'm not certain that Vegas can spell standard, you know. So I don't know who you're asking that. That's too big for you, man. Fully done. Fully done. All right. Bless up yourself. Bless up yourself. All right. So Jamaica.
Stick up in there, Baron. Remember, you know, that like Bola just mentioned about the Prime Minister speaking so waxing poetically about the Integrity Commission, and he said that they must be left alone. It's an independent body. It must be left alone. And the opposition must leave this body alone. What is the problem now? What is the problem now? Because so he thought that because he was the Prime Minister, they're not going to investigate him.
Exactly.
Who is he? Exactly. Is he the people's? Is he? And the thing is, you know, what they fail to realize that they are not there enough of themselves. It's the people who put them there. So they beg the people to put them there. When they put them there, now they're saying, "Oh, nothing to see here." Come on, get a grip.
Let's just remind the Prime Minister what the Prime Minister said.
Wait, no, what you saying, Ratigan?
No, I was just gonna say one quick thing. Bolo, we did a show already on the report, the annual report. It's International Anti-Corruption Day every December 14th, I think it is.
Yes.
And we did that program on that, and we also did a program on the Hansard for the Integrity Commission. But you know what, Bolo, since you were asked for it, we have to assume that other people are like to see it. So we are going to do a fresh program this Saturday on it.
All right, sounds good. All right. So let us just remind Jamaica what Andrew Ones said. And then all of a sudden now Andrew Ones have a problem.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
All right, now, look at now, Jamaican people. Look how Andrew Ones is going to leave the Integrity Commission to do their job. And look at now. Let us play this clip. You understand? Let us hear him and Big Mama. Right? Let us hear him and Big Mama. Right? Let us hear him and Big Mama. And let us assess if he is now leaving the Integrity Commission investigators to do their job. Yes, I am telling you that this man is something else, Jamaica. And you're going to hear the lies that they told about FID. You understand, and how they're trying to malign the Integrity Commission investigators. Andrew Ones and Cliff Hughes.
current issue.
Yes.
Dr. Andrew Wheatley, does he still retain your confidence as a cabinet minister?
Dr. Wheatley retains my confidence in the work that he has been doing in the Office of the Prime Minister, particularly in AI and cyber and these other areas. As it relates to the report that was tabled on him, I have read the report briefly. I have not a chance to go through it. I do intend to be briefed by the attorneys as to exactly what is stated in the report. I do, however, feel
his attorneys or your attorneys or the government's attorneys?
The party's attorneys.
Oh,
yeah.
all the parties involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the charges that are suggested or recommended are serious charges. Now, the challenge, of course, is that no charge has yet been preferred on him. So until that point, we will observe the situation. Today, I'm going to leave here, run back to cabinet. I expect to see Minister Wheatley there, and we will have a fulsome discussion with him directly on the report and what to expect in the future.
Given what happened in previous years with Petrojam, of which nothing came, you've reappointed him, and
Yes.
you've come under attack for doing so. Do you regret doing so now?
So you will recall that Minister Wheatley at the time resigned in the Petrojam affair. And after the 2020 election, I did not reappoint him because those matters were not yet resolved. Those matters were since resolved, and therefore he was cleared to be reappointed. I was totally unaware of any report or any investigation. I am not aware of investigations that are ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that the PMP would know more about investigations ongoing than I do.
And that raises the issue. Do you have confidence in the Integrity Commission?
The Integrity Commission is a necessary agency to tackle corruption in Jamaica. I believe there are changes that are necessary for it to become more effective.
You haven't said yes or no.
I believe there are changes to make it more effective.
So as of this moment, do you have confidence in it?
I believe there are changes that are necessary.
It needs fixing.
Precisely. And this is not just my opinion. I believe.
So
It needs funding, not fixing, funding.
yes, basically, you understand, he leave room there in terms of asks when Cliff Hughes asked him, do you have confidence in the Integrity Commission? And he leave room so one can deduce what they want to deduce. You understand? But he ensured that he did not say that the Integrity Commission investigators or the commission itself have integrity. You understand? So he leave doubt. So anyone out there can deduce what they want to deduce of that. So disingenuous of the Prime Minister. However, I am going to deal with something right now. Now, Ratty and Sister Daisy, some time ago, the Prime Minister was asked if he knew of anyone in his cabinet under investigation for illicit enrichment. The Prime Minister, Mr. Rattigan and Daisy, responded that he looked far and wide and he was not made aware that anyone in his ministry was under investigation. Now, my question to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, since mainstream media is not asking you, Big Mama is not asking you, Mystic Sensation is going to ask you. So, Prime Minister, did you ask Mr. Wheatley if he was under such investigation pertaining to illicit enrichment? But let us presume that the Prime Minister asked Mr. Wheatley and obviously he was lied to. Let us assume that he was lied to. Now, Brother Rattigan and Sister Daisy, I am saying, now that the Prime Minister would have realized that Wheatley lied to him, then my question, why did he tell Cliff Hughes that Mr. Wheatley still gain his trust and confidence? When you look at this, as it relates to Cliff Hughes' interview of the Prime Minister, totally damaged the Prime Minister extremely fragile reputation. Because it was damaged already. His reputation has been damaged. As a matter of fact, why if you say he doesn't have any reputation? My question, Ratty. Wheatley, let us presume, let us take the Prime Minister word for what he said. We know that he is not someone who speaks truth, you know. But let us give him the benefit of the doubt tonight. We are asking that, okay, now you see the Integrity Commission, right, investigative report, right? And you realize, so this has nothing to do, Brother Ratty and Sister Maria, as it relates to whether or not the report, right, is solid and there's going to be a conviction or there's not going to be any conviction. That is beside the point. We are saying that you realize that the Integrity Commission investigators had spoken to Wheatley from 2021. You, right, put him into the cabinet after, and as a matter of fact, you, right, when asked by a journalist if any one of your members, right, being investigated for illicit enrichment, you responded that you look far and wide and no one. I am saying to you tonight, how can you still, knowing what you know now, how can you still say that Mr. Wheatley retain your trust and confidence? Brother Rattigan, what do you have to say about this?
What the Prime Minister say, and I could pay careful attention to his words. He said essentially that he has faith and confidence in the work that Dr. Wheatley is doing in his office.
Yes.
Never talk about the incident. Never talk about the report. He said the work he's doing, I have faith and confidence in. That's fine. That could be true that you have faith and confidence in one, but that wasn't the question asked. So he dodged it. But here's what I submit. I submit to all of you that the Prime Minister is saying to himself, this man lied to me. And you can see evidence of that when his wife, when Wheatley got up last week, Minister Wheatley got up to make his convincing speech to everyone that he wasn't guilty. And there's a rule that says you can get up as a matter of personal privilege and make some statements, but not concerning controversial issues. And that was the issue in the Parliament last week, whether or not he should speak on a controversial issue. And they overruled the opposition and said, give him 1 minute. And you could see the disgust on the speaker's face when she said, yeah, make him talk for 1 minute. And then she shut him up because then him start talk about him start going and start discuss the facts. Now here's a fact. Minister Wheatley on May 18, 2022, the Integrity Commission sent a notice to him to explain the source of funds used to acquire assets. That is illicit enrichment. That's what they're telling him right there.
Yes.
They're saying, we want to know where you get all this money from to buy all these things. That happened May 18, 2022. You know, when the Prime Minister come out and said to people that I ask everyone in my party who if they're being investigated by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment, and they said no, he said it on August 17, 2023.
Exactly.
Almost a year after Minister Wheatley was informed that he was under or he was informed that he needed to come and explain where you get this money from to buy all of these things. So the Prime Minister, he knows that Minister Wheatley is lying to him. The problem now is this. The Prime Minister himself faced these charges and is still facing these charges. So he's caught between a rock and a hard place because this is Minister Wheatley's second scandal. Second, Petrojam, and they put him out the pasture and then bring him back and then him run into this. So the Prime Minister knows between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't know, or somebody said to me the other day, it's between a rock and a rocker. He doesn't know whether to he doesn't know whether to get rid of the man or keep him. And with all of the scandals going on, he doesn't know. So to answer your question, the Prime Minister knows that Minister Wheatley is lying or lied. The Prime Minister knew back then that the report, because he said he just read the report. So if he didn't know then, he knows now that the man lied to him back then. And the question is, how can you countenance this kind of behavior? Exactly. Second time around, and how can you countenance this? You cannot. So I don't know what the Prime Minister is going to do, but he's between a rock and a rocker. So
all right, between a rock and a rocker. Sister Maria, what you have to say as a result of the Prime Minister between a rock and a rocker?
Ratigan, it is one thing to lie. It is one thing for somebody to lie to you, but it's another to lie on yourself. Because he said he looked far and wide, but he should be looking at the man in the mirror.
He didn't look close.
Self. He didn't look close enough.
He didn't look close. He looked far and wide, but he forgot to look close.
He looked far. He didn't look. So you see, that is what corruption does to people, because he's not authentic, he's not his true self, he's not doing things on the behalf of the Jamaican people who elected him to be there. He has to trip up over his own falsehoods. And he said that the Petrojam thing was resolved. How was it resolved? Did they find the oil? The gas oil? Did they find it?
No.
So how then can it be resolved? If they didn't find the oil, and it's still missing, correct? The oil is still missing.
Yes. Still.
There's no account of it. The millions and millions of barrels of oil still missing.
That is correct.
So then how can it be resolved?
Can't be.
Listen, and I don't expect Andrew Holness to do anything to Andrew Wheatley, because they're in the same boat. They're two peas in a pod. And like I said, I think I said to Ratigan, if you remove Wheatley's name, just remove the surname. It could read like it's Andrew Holness you're talking about.
Exactly.
If no one said to you this report is about Andrew Wheatley, you would immediately assume that this is about Andrew Holness. Same MO. Yes. So, and then and here's the issue I'm having. The Prime Minister is behaving as if there's no corruption problem within his cabinet. You have Montague. Where's the $400 million? And where are the used cars for the police? One or the other. We're yet to get any. You have former MP Dunn, who was getting paid taxpayers' money to rent empty buildings that he owned. He was renting to the government. All right. You have Chang, who is in WikiLeaks and is Minister of National Security. You have Robertson, who's also in WikiLeaks. He's a member of Parliament. You have Vaz, who was able to take 1.4, forget procurement. No, they always say, oh, the procurement issues, but forgetting procurement. He didn't need any procurement rules to get $1.4 billion to buy 110 free buses, and he's yet to get all the 110 free buses. And nobody's asking the questions. What happened to the rest of the buses? Where are the receipts for these free buses? The most he would have paid is $1 for them anyway. So what happened to the receipt? Where's the information for all of that? So that is, and that is just a microcosm of the problems that he's having as it relates to corruption within his administration. And as it relates to Andrew Holness, he has been lying to these integrity bodies since he set foot in the parliament from 1998 when it was the Contractor General. And people think they'll just this. And I remember Rattigan said a while back, that for his statutory declarations to be certified, the years that it was impossible because you cannot have it certified in a few years, and then after that it is uncertified. So something went wrong within that section when it was certified, and we're seeing the why. Because he's not telling them the truth. And Xavier Main is is on the investigation. And he took the IC to court. The Prime Minister took his own integrity body to court and is asking to strike out illicit enrichment. He went as far to ask the court to force the IC to certify him. And I'm saying to myself, what kind of madness is this? Who accepts this as normal behavior? And if it was done by any other person, you'd have to be peeling Andrew Holness's ass off the roof.
Yes.
This is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable.
All right. So what we want to prove the lie that Cliff Hughes told, right, about FID. And this is very serious. Right, so we are going to play back the clip, and Jamaica, listen to the lie that Cliff Hughes told about FID.
Believe that the Integrity Commission itself has suggested changes that would make it more effective.
You yourself is in their crosshairs, and I understand, and I'm putting this to you. The matter of your uncertified declarations, they brought in a forensic examiner and found nothing on which they could proceed against you. And they referred it to the Financial Investigations Division, the FID. And it is my understanding that the FID said there's nothing against you on which it can proceed. They wrote to the Integrity Commission.
They haven't written to me. So
they wrote to the Integrity Commission, I gather. And the
How do you know this? Because I don't know. Oh, really? I'm not aware that they have written.
I gather they have written to the Integrity Commission saying there's nothing there. And the Integrity Commission has responded, and responded tersely. One sentence. It says, the matter is still under investigation. Because your lawyers wrote to...
Now, this is very serious. This is very, very, very serious in terms of what, right, Cliff Hughes had said, knowing to the fact that he lied.
Trying to throw my straw.
Lied. Now, let me show you, as it relates to the situation with FID, as it relates to Andrew Holness' investigation by FID. Let me show you the evidence. Bring up that document. Right, page 1. Yeah. Let us show you, right, as it relates to the status of Andrew Holness' investigation where FID is concerned. And this is the lie. Right? This is the lie. And I mean, it is wrong. It is morally wrong. Right? Now, here it is. Hold on, let me just take this call. Yes, caller, just hold the line. Let me just finish these two documents and then let me stay on the line here. Okay. Okay. Hold on. You want me to just read the document and then me just make a speak, all right? Okay, hold on. Okay, all right, yes. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, can I speak now?
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Miss Daisy, sister, your wife,
Yes.
and to yourself. The question is, with Andrew Holness and the statutory deduction and the IC, is it that he is not going to produce it? He can't? Because to me, like, he's not making any effort. Days and months are going, and all we know that he has not submitted his statutory deduction. He has not signed the code of conduct, and it's just remained like that, and he's still in office. We need to hear something probably from the IC regarding Andrew Holness' statutory deduction and signing the code of conduct. It cannot continue like this. I feel like he's not trying to do something about it. It's time now that we hear something, and also that the IC step upon this matter. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mystic?
Yes. But
They put in more. They're just so laid back. They need to get vigorous with Andrew Holness.
okay, well,
It needs to happen. Yes, it can't remain like this.
okay.
I don't believe he's putting out any effort to get it done because he undermined the IC. That's my question. I'm wondering. They
All
need to
right.
come out and say something.
Okay, all
It's
right.
time enough.
Let us respond. All right.
Good night.
Okay. All right. So at this stage, the IC submitted, right, the whatever investigation to FID. So the IC have no control over that, right? As it relates to what is pending, right, in terms of court decision making and so forth. So the IC has nothing, right? No, cannot do anything. You understand? Out of the IC hand. But let us play for let us read for the Jamaican public. The financial investigation, as according to Liar Big Mama Investigation Division, has not made a recommendation into the statutory declaration and illicit enrichment case against Jamaica Prime Minister Andrew Holness, stating that no charges should be laid. The FID has formally denounced social media claims suggesting it has issued such a ruling. So this is to show you that they are dismissing the lie. They are dismissing the lie that Big Mama told. That they said there is no charges to be laid.
Was this today, Byron?
Eh?
What did this come out today?
This was recent. This is the date is not there. Me click because it was stalled. But this is the most recent response. You understand? Now the ruling of no charge regarding his statutory declarations originated from the Integrity Commission Director of Corruption Prosecution. It has nothing to do with this that was submitted to FID. Right? Key details of the investigation status include, right, no charges laid in September 2024. The Integrity Commission Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled that no criminal charges would be laid against Holness at that time. That is the reference as it relates to Kamika Prince. You understand? Not what is over by FID. So Big Mama is a liar. While the investigation found omission in the Prime Minister's Statutory Asset Declaration. Take this away. So this is what Big Mama does, right, in misleading this. Now, let me just go to Brother Rattigan here. Brother Ratti, right? Now,
before you, I want to ask Rattigan a question. So when he's talking, he can factor it into what he's going to say about the forensics. Rattigan, they're sent the IC didn't have they sent it to forensics, but they did not find anything. Is it that they didn't have the resources necessary with regard to the kind of forensic analysis that they needed to get done. So they had to send it to the FID, which had more resources to do that kind of deep dive to come up with the answers that they are looking for. Go ahead, Ratty.
Good, Mystic. No, answer.
All right. So I am saying, Ratty, and let me ask you, Ratty, right? Are you aware of any such information that the FID, right, made such ruling as according to Big Mama? Have you heard anything like that? Speak to us.
The only thing I've heard it from him saying that. But here's the thing. The Prime Minister, remember when this conversation started, the Prime Minister made a comment saying that the PNP, they seem to know more about the investigation than anybody else. Well, it also looks like Cliff Hughes knows more about the investigation than the Prime Minister too. Because he was asking him where you get this information from, and he said, I got it from my sources. So if the opposition have it, and the news media of it, then Mr. Prime Minister should say that you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. Or you're lying to us. You're lying to us. Now, here's the thing. Here's the big fact that getting back to the forensics now, Sister Maria. They do have forensic examiners over at the FID. But here's the thing. They also have international assistance through the Egmont Group, which is a group of financial investigators. So if they were having issues, they could have reached out to the US, UK, Canada, etc. They have a working group that they could have used. But here's here's a major lie that they've said on numerous occasions. They've said that, the Integrity Commission, they investigated the Prime Minister, and they brought in a forensic investigator, and they have a report, and they don't want to file the report. People, whenever you hear them say that again, please refer them to the Integrity Commission's report of the Prime Minister's statutory declaration and just go to page 122. Because you know what 122 say? It says, the forensic examination commenced on June 9, 2023, and tables 15 and 16, it actually should say 16 and 17. They said tables 15 and 16 below provide summaries or summarizes the transaction. And then, you know what table 16 and 17, you know them talk about? Them talk about the inter-network deposit showing that the Prime Minister deposited $473,161,545. And the inter-network withdrawals was $427,174,913. That's the first chart. And the second chart, it breaks it down even further. So when them tell you say the financial the forensic examiner came to Jamaica and did a forensic examination, and that report has not been provided, please tell them go look on page 122. I'm looking at it right now. Yes. Page 122, 123, 124 of the Integrity Commission's report, and they will find the answer there, that the information was provided and is contained in the report. Them lying to your people.
Right, is it a possibility that you can send it to me and I can display it right now?
Yeah, let me share.
I would love to do
that. And in fact, it's something where you talk about a lot, you know.
Exactly.
You see the chart. Hold on. Let me share the screen. Hold on.
Yeah, we like to show the source, to show that they are liars.
All right, here it is. Hold on. 1, 2. All right, here we go. It's there.
Increase the fund.
Increase the fund, right?
Yeah.
There it is. Start right there. See that?
Yes.
The commission, the DI, it's right here, the DI, that is the Integrity Commission.
Yes.
Right? Let me just make it one bigger. See it right there, sir? Examining accompanied financial transactions and commission an independent forensic examination, right? And then say right here, the forensic examination commenced on June 9. And look at that, table 15 and 16.
Hold on, Ratty. No Vegas here coming out. Oh, you understand the forensic, right?
Report wasn't presented. Yeah.
Yes, the report wasn't presented. You see the lie?
It is right here. It is right here. The forensic examination commenced on June 9. And look at that. It's at tables 15 and 16. It actually should be 16 and 17. I make a mistake, right? So it summarizes the transactions, right? And here it is. During the course of the forensic examination, the examiner determined a total of 33 bank statements, blah, 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 blah. Mistake. Here is the chart. And you have spoken. You have shown this many times. Here, I leave it to you. Here's the damn chart.
Yes. Right Imperium, Positive Media, all of them. Estate Bridge. Yeah.
But hold on. And while they are saying that, it is the forensic investigator who found all of these things.
Indeed. See, right? And you understand what amount. See, right, that's
Yes. No.
So, question, Rattigan. Question to you, Rattigan. Okay, so their forensic investigator found all of this. The data mining brought this up. So could it be now that a further forensic analysis would show exactly where these monies came from to be put in these accounts?
It should.
Yes, it should.
Look at the next chart. Here's the next chart. See it right? But it breaks down all of this, some of the things right here. The intercompany transactions between Estate Bridge, Imperium, Positive Media, all of these companies owned by the Prime Minister. This come from out of the forensic
the forensic expert.
Yeah, but my question to you, Rattigan, is this. This week we know this, right? So could it be that a further forensic analysis, deeper forensic analysis, would now show where exactly these monies came from for the Prime Minister to have to put them in Imperium and Estate Bridge? Say, for example, then a person, you understand me?
Yes,
okay, so you have the money in a business, so it came from selling box juice, it came from selling your taxes. Yeah. So that's what, if that would now lead to prove where exactly, because that is what the IC is asking. How did you generate this money? What source did you use?
Right.
Exactly.
You're right. So people, when you hear them tell about the report hasn't been revealed and we don't know the content, they might lie to you. The Integrity Commission said right there. Again, people, page 122, 123, and you can even go to 124. Here it is right there. All that's right there. So.
Ratty, you see the reason why them can't manage you around here, sir? No.
You can move it.
Yeah. Right. This is the reason, Ratty, they can't manage us. And, them said misinformation and disinformation. Right? Because, of course, we get to the source and show them up. You understand that they are liars, they are deceivers. Right? Now, again, another lie being told, right, by Andrew Wallace himself. I mean, now I want people to look at this, right, as it relates to this particular clip. The Prime Minister is just, I always say that the only time the Prime Minister is not telling a lie is when he's not speaking.
True.
Right? So listen to the Prime Minister, Jamaica. Me know not like for hear me, but listen to it.
Jamaican people to appreciate. You have in me and in my government a Prime Minister and ministers who stand up for you, who seek to get the best deals for you. And I listen keenly to the response of the leader of the opposition to the TCN program. And I noticed he did not say he wouldn't have done it. He didn't say we should reject it. He said, well, it's just a pity it had to come out in this way.
You are lying. You are lying. The opposition say no such thing. You are a vicious person, Andrew Honest. You are devious. Well, let us hear you.
We should have come to the public before. But as
anyone knows, and I've explained before, you can't come until you are finished with all the negotiations, everything is signed. So though we have signed the MOU, it is not yet implemented, not complete, because the operationalization is not complete. Now, as soon as that is done, then we would have called a press conference. We would have said, this is what it's doing. You believe that we could have done this in secret, a plain land with 25 people? It would be all over the news. So I find it, the panic around it is almost to the point of being ridiculous, honestly. And I see people, forgive me, Cliff, for cutting you off, but I see people WhatsApping me and sending me a message, why would we do this?
Let us stop him because he's lying. And let us actually play what Mark Golding said. Right, Jamaica, we cannot trust this man. Right, we just can't. Right, this man is just 100% corrupted. And, you know, we need to, and when we are doing this, it's for Jamaicans to decide. And we are giving you the evidence. Giving you the evidence. Now listen to this.
Opposition leader Mark Golding is questioning why the Jamaican government would sign an agreement to accept third country nationals from the United States when a judge in that country ruled the practice is illegal. A federal judge in February struck down the Trump administration's third country deportation policy, ruling that deporting migrants to countries other than their own without due process or adequate notice is unlawful. The U.S. government was granted temporary resumption to resume the deportations while they appeal that matter, but Mr. Golding says the arrangement is very concerning.
There's a case decided by a federal judge in Massachusetts which said that these third country arrangements are not lawful under US law. The government of the United States is appealing that to their Supreme Court. That matter is not yet resolved. But we are nevertheless embarking upon an arrangement, notwithstanding the fact that the lawfulness of that arrangement in the jurisdiction of the other country that we're signing to is itself very uncertain.
And while the government, in justifying the agreement, says it is offering assistance to its ally, which is the USA, and one of its biggest trading partners, the opposition leader believes that there's more to this particular issue.
But for something like this, you would have expected that Jamaica would have some benefit from taking all these non-Jamaicans, processing them here, becoming responsible for them here, taking the risks inherent in having them here, and having to deal with them if they don't leave. So we're exposing ourselves to a significant amount of exposure by taking these people here, and risks.
All right.
So, you know, one would expect there to be some benefit flowing in the other direction.
Okay. So when we hear that, right, let me just go to Sister Daisy, right, as it relates to Mark Golding's response there. Wherein that, any at all, that Mark Golding is endorsing TCN as according to Andrew Holness, because basically that's what he's saying. Wherein that, Mark Golding is strongly opposing it. What say you, Sister?
I don't see where the opposition leader is endorsing it, because even when he spoke in the parliament, he brought up the same issue of it being illegal and a federal judge blocking it. There has since been some resolution in part, but it is still questionable. But from the communique, the note issued by the State Department the day following all this that came out in the Gleaner, it is said that it was the DOJ, the GOJ, Government of Jamaica, that approached the US government and not the other way around. And also, Andrew is so compromised that he can be led with a straw. Anybody can approach him with anything, because, you know, it is a money thing, because 17 Haitians landed in Port Antonio, right? And they're immediately arrested and they're being processed, okay? What are they going to do? Are they going to send them back, or are they going to accommodate them? So you see how, you know, God just, let's say God don't come but God saying, you see how these Haitians showing up now is really going to show up what the Jamaican government is really about, and what this PCN agreement, MOU, is? What are the details? Because here's the problem. Andrew Horner said, you know, if a plane is going to land with 25 people, a plane landing with 25 people, they won't, that will be, they got lost in the shuffle. But have we forgotten the plane would have been 200, almost 200 Indians that landed? One plane. So what is he talking about? And nobody knew where they came from. Nobody, even to this day, do we know what has happened to all those persons? So, you know, you see, the thing is he speaks thinking that we forget. But they said the person who feels in the street, don't remember the person who's stepping it. So we always have to remember, because he keeps doing this all the time. And then expect that he's behaving like Jamaicans fool. So he's talking to a bunch of idiots.
Yes. All right. Brother Ratty, let me say this, right? Because we had seen where, as it relates to the observer, 17 Haitian came to our shore. And as a result, they were taken into custody. And while we have that done, right, we are dealing with a situation as it relates to the TCN, right, third country nationals, and where Marco Rubio clearly stated, right, who may have been among that third country nationals. He said categorically clear that pedophiles, rapists, deplorables, how do you know, fathom that, right, as it relates to these Asians that come to our shore? They are running away from a very serious situation, right, as it relates to the uprising in their country, right? And, you know, they had, when they touched shore, right, they were taken to custody. But here we are willing to accept TCN, right, third country nationals, who it was plainly stated. I don't care what Horace Chang is saying. I don't care what Dana Morrison is saying. We are talking about what Marco Rubio said, that they are looking for, you know, countries who will do United States a favor, take some of the most despicable, most deplorable, pedophile and rapists. How do you the two situation here, right, as it relates to the 17 Haitians that had been taken in custody? Speak to us.
Well, they made the distinction and say, well, the Haitians came in illegally, and so they're treated differently. But before I touch that, let me just touch what Sister Maria made an outstanding point and said, when the Prime Minister said, you think a plane can come with 25 people and we don't know what's going on? And she's right, a plane came with over 200 Asians, South Asians, Indian, Pakistanis, and nobody never know. But here's another one. Sis, them land a plane down in your neck of the woods there, you know, and them not find the people, you remember? Them land a plane out the
Yes, exactly.
The plane,
true.
contents gone, passengers
That is true.
gone, and a few weeks later, what we hear? The Minister of National Security and Peace said, oh, the people that were on the plane, they have left the country. That's what I'm saying.
How did he know that?
Exactly. So this thing about the Asians now, with the Asians coming in, they try to make the distinction and say, as I said, that they come in illegally. But even so, if they come in illegally, you know, they can apply for asylum.
Yes.
Right? And asylum takes a while. But we don't let them apply for asylum. We turn them around and send them back to the situation where they're being persecuted. Now, here's a question I have to ask the Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, let's say that the U.S. government removes a few Haitians and send them to Jamaica under the TCN. What you going to do with them? You're going to do with them the same thing you have to do with the Haitians who you claim come in illegally? Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to keep them and make them file for asylum as well? Because once you touch shore, you're eligible to file for asylum, but them never make them other people, them never make the Haitians them who come in. So they make the distinction and say they're coming in illegally. Illegally, it doesn't matter. They have a right to apply for asylum, and they have a right to a hearing. Now we're bringing in people that we're claiming they're coming into the country legally, but they're being deported and they're in transit. Well, if they're in transit to their home country, why is it that they didn't go in transit through another Caribbean country or go directly from the United States? Why Jamaica? I don't understand that. No, you hear him say the financing of all of this will be addressed by the International Organization of Migration. They will pay some of the fees, the US government will pay for them to reach Jamaica. Here is something that they're not loud about. Them loud about a whole bunch of things. When those people come to Jamaica, if they file for asylum and they go through the court system, the first question I have is, who's going to pay for the legal fees for these people? Is it going to be the Jamaican taxpayers? And the second thing is, Minister Chang says, if asylum is denied, then Jamaica has to deport them at taxpayers' expense. So Jamaica is involved in the TCN program too, because Jamaica is now going to be deporting people. And the question is, if somebody says to you, I cannot go back to my country because I'm for fear of persecution, and you say, well, you can't stay here, where are you going to send them? Well, here's how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to send them back from whence they came, which means you're supposed to send them back to America. But watch and see if that's gonna happen. That will never happen, to quote my favorite minister. That will never happen. So we don't know all of these costs involved. We don't know where Jamaica is going to send these people to. We don't know these people who are coming, they tell you about they can't have criminal history. It's not true. It's not true. Even if the US government wanted to, mistakes have been made in these instances many, many times. Mistakes have been made. And so you get a pedophile, you get a serial killer, you get whatever you get. Now, people, I put it to you like this. You see, when somebody is supporting you, and they say you are going to do this, they might and I know how this diplomatic thing works, because I've been in the back room, where them just tell them, say, you are going to do this, but when we go outside and face the media, we're going to say we have come to a mutual agreement that you're going, and them nice it up. That is exactly what happened. The US government tell them, you go and do this, right? And they remember, who's the number one trading partner for Jamaica? The US.
The US.
Import, export. The second for import, the second is for export. The second,
Trinidad.
No, Trinidad is down the bottom. For export, the second is Russia. For import, it's the US. I don't remember who's. No, it's not China. Import is China. It's China. It's China.
Yeah, for import. Yeah, for imports. Yeah.
Import side, we don't sell anything to them. We import from them. The US is over 2 billion. China is 800 and something million. Now, if the US says, listen, we're going to freeze all of them trade here. And not only that, here's what we're going to do to your tourism industry. We're going to increase the travel advisory to a 5. And no Americans will be coming to your shores. Jamaica mash up. Plus, when I'm saying, and Mr. Prime Minister, do not forget that we have that big file on you from the day you were born till now. And you don't want us to release that, because if you think Mystic and Rattigan and Marie and Lady and Marie and the rest of them, you think them did bad, you wait till we release this and get it out there. So Jamaica has no choice.
Ratty. Right. We are law enforcement personnel and we understand how certain things, work. Right? Now, based on what you are saying, tell us, because I do believe, right, that United States initiate all of this, and they were definitely forced into making this decision as a result of what the United States have on them. Do you agree in terms of my position?
I believe that the United States has a lot on them, and that they know this. The question as to who initiated it could go either way, but anyway you look at it, they're lying. We have been fed a pack of lies, because 1 minute you hear that it is the US that initiated it. Next minute you hear that it was the Jamaican government initiated it. And the lies just go back and forth. And every single time, I'm telling you, that's what when you lie, This is exactly what happens when you lie.
Yes.
Good, Marie.
Yeah. This is how you know they are telling major lies. Minister Morris Dixon said they are bringing in professionals, engineers. No, make some sense, Ratigan. A person is going to leave a job that is paying them 50, 60, 70, 80, or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to go to Jamaica to make $7,000 a year. So you see, what? I'm like, come on now. What are you talking about? What kind of professionals? But listen, somebody said on Colin Bell's show, and I had to laugh. They are bringing in professional pedophiles, professional rapists, professional child rapists, professional murderers. So all of those are professions,
But remember,
and it kind of.
Remember, him call it the structured migration program. This is a Jamaican construct, It's not a US construct. The US have the TCN. Jamaica come with the structured migration program, and it is complete nonsense. Here's another point where them open the doors and them never even realize it. The question was asked: will you release the
MOU.
Public. I remember when Minister Horace Chang said, it is a public document. Of course we will release it to the public. It is not a public document.
No, it's not.
It's not but waiting for him to release. And then they asked Dana Smith, and she admitted that this was a cabinet decision.
Yeah.
This TCN was a cabinet decision. So people, when you blame them. Don't blame one person, blame the whole of them. Whole of them, including the Prime Minister and Dana Morris Dixon and Horace Chang.
All right. Let me take a call.
They don't care.
Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mystic.
Blessings.
All right, put it this way. The government said it's getting rid of criminals in Jamaica, but yes, still you might import criminals.
Well,
you ever come across a mind that the government getting these people to preserve the nether election, give them residence in Jamaica for the next coming election? You ever think about that?
Well, listen, it's the opportunity exists that if they are going to make these people into a naturalized citizen and particularly place them in a certain area, I would believe that it can be significant as it relates to changing a voting demographic. I do believe that.
That is what me think right now, because if you get rid of criminals in Jamaica and you import criminals, why would you import in criminals? Remember, Jamaica have a low voting rate at this time, So
yes.
when you get 10,000 people in Jamaica and you get them on your side, you treat them good and get them on your side, what are you going to expect? All I'm going to do, I put them in the PMP zone them. That's them vote say them. This is what me think. I'll be honest.
Well, to be truthful, that is something that is on my mind, and that is something that I had spoken about, right? More than a couple of times, because that is a part of my concern as well. And
well, that's only my concern, nothing more.
Okay,
that's only my concern about this, because you cannot get rid of criminals in your country and then import criminals from other places. Why would you do that? And look on the area where they might kill you them into. These are the things that Jamaican people are looking into.
And it is a strong.
If may make sense.
No, man, you're making a lot of sense. It is a strong possibility that that can be done. And remember, we really don't know the truthfulness as it relates to even the real true amount that is coming into the island. They said 25, but we don't really know. You understand? Because as far as we're concerned, the government is just lying, even as we speak.
Simple. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If the Gleaner didn't break this news, no Jamaican wouldn't know about it. All you hear them.
Exactly.
If this news never break by the Gleaner, who to tell how much coming already that you don't know about?
There you go, sir.
Think about it.
True.
And solid concern, because I have that concern as well. But let me just ask Rattigan something. Ratti, we are talking about the opportunity we are talking about, right? We have no evidence that that is the plan, right? But we are talking about the opportunity, right? Or you look at that, Brother Ratti, in terms of, know how crooked Andrew Holness is, right? And of course, if you have X amount of people and he's going to make them naturalized citizen, right? It can be used in his, advantage to change a voting demographic. What you say about that? We are talking about the opportunity.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there are two programs we have to understand. There are two. There's a structured migration program. That's the one where they talk about the 10,000. And then you have the third country national. That's the second program, which is the 25. So we don't want to mix them up, right? Yes. You have the 10,000 one, which they're saying, no, the explanation is that they're trying to bring in people from the US to work in Jamaica for 6 months and then go back to the US and work for 6 months and then come back to Jamaica and work for 6 months. Bunch of nonsense. And then you have the TCN one where they say we're going to bring in 25 every 2 days. But if we have more than 10 in the country after 30 days.
Every 2 days or every 2 weeks?
2 weeks, every 2 weeks. Sorry, every 2 weeks. And if we have more than 10 or more in the country after a 30-day period, then the program gets suspended. Which again, if you think about it, it's nonsense, because in a month you're going to have 50, and out of the 50, 25 of them would have been in the country for 30 days or longer. And so you have to go get rid of 16 of them out of the first 25, right? And it makes no sense. Now here's the problem. The problem, the 10,000 that they're talking about, those people don't want to come live at Jamaica. Now. Those are people that they're planning to bring in, like nurses and doctors and engineers. They say they're bringing them in to work for a limited period, and then they go back to where they came from, which is, again, as Sister Maria pointed out, it's nonsense, because you're not going to leave your $150,000 job in the United States to come to Jamaica, come work for $35,000. Look, how much you love Jamaica. You're not going to do that.
No.
Then you have expenses associated with that. Who's going to take care of all of that? No, the 25 every 2 weeks, them are the people we really have to really pay attention to. If they apply for asylum takes a while. Now, once you get asylum, you can't vote. You have to become a citizen. Will you be able to become a citizen during that time period? Well, that's an
Hold on the Ratti. Those questions will be legitimately asked when you have a government that is not corrupted. To me, Andrew Holness, we are doing it in one day.
No, because here's what happened. When you come in and you file for asylum, it's going to take a while. Now, the fastest way for you to get citizenship, right, it would be through marriage, right? The fastest way. But here's another way, which probably even faster. I would say the fastest way. I said a fast way to do it. Probably faster way is this. The Constitution says that if you're a Commonwealth citizen and you come to Jamaica and you establish residency for a year, you can't vote, you can't run in the election, you can't do anything. So make us say now them get somebody now from another Caribbean country who come in and say, I can't go back to Antigua, I can't go back to Grenada, I can't, I have to stay in Jamaica because I'm going to be persecuted. And the person files for asylum. The question is, does that person have to live in the 1 year period? Does it start to count from the time the person gets asylum or from the time the person lands on the shore of Jamaica? Because after 1 year, if you're a Commonwealth citizen, you can run in the general election. You can vote. You can do all of these things. So there are so many questions that they're not even looking at. They're not examining these things. And they yet still tell you, we are the experts who did all of these things. And believe me, people, believe me when I tell you, the reason why we're having so many issues is because the government was not forthcoming. The government was not forthcoming. Because if they were forthcoming, then they could have enough time. If they had said to the people, listen, this is something that we're thinking about. Remember, we voted for them, you know. They're supposed to be expressing our will, what we want they're supposed to do. So they're supposed to come to the people and talk about these things and have the people say, yeah or nay, we're not interested in having this happen in our country at this time or forever or never. Or if the people say, okay, all right, fine, then they have enough time to sit down, but then they would have the confidence of the people, because the people have said, fine, you can go ahead, but make sure you do it right. But here, when they spring upon the people, no matter what year the Prime Minister tell you about, well, the MOU was signed, but the operationalization, big word, you know, operationalization of the agreement is going to take place later on. And we were waiting for all of those things before we bring it to you. Why not bring it to the people before you go down this road? Why not bring it to the people?
To the parliament, yeah.
Parliament, the parliament is for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It didn't do it. So people, believe me when I tell you, you are going to hear more stories coming out of this, and they're not going to mesh. The stories cannot mesh because already there are many contradictions and conflicting versions of the same story, and it's going to continue. No matter how they try, they can't bring it back. This smoke come out of the fire already. You can't bring it back and pretend as if the fire wasn't lit. It gone.
Exactly.
But even labor rights now, and this is one unifying issue, because even persons that voted for him are really upset, because when you look at it, it comes down to brass tacks, economics. Like that big thing said, it's the economy stupid. The fight for scarce resources, the broken schools, the broken hospitals, police, fire, road infrastructure, all of that. Where is the money going to come from to take care of those things and take care of these people? And also, what happens if one of them commits a violent crime against a Jamaican, or a Jamaican commits it against them? How now is that dealt with?
Very good question. Right, but it has to be dealt with by the Jamaican laws. It couldn't be dealt.
But if they're engineers and these kind of professionals, I'm not to say that professionals don't find themselves into sticky situations. Yes. But I'm just saying, given using the background of what they are saying, that these people, and then we hear what the state Secretary of State says, which we have to go for the Secretary of State says, what happens then?
Well, here's another thing I quickly want to ask you. If they're saying that none of these people will have a criminal history, right? So, fine. So if they come to Jamaica without a criminal history and they're Commonwealth citizens, then
are they actually saying that none of these persons have any criminal history? Because the next question that I will be asking, have they done that sort of profile ID?
No.
Have they done that?
No, they're going to depend on the U.S. government to give them a report, if they give them a report.
Yeah, but what the U.S. government is saying as it relates to Marco Rubio,
that's true.
You understand? That they are sending pedophile, deplorables, the worst of the worst. The United States government tell them.
But hold on a second there. We don't have the registry for pedophiles. We don't have one in Jamaica, right?
We do, but it is not published.
It's not published. All right. Well, here's the thing. If somebody commits a crime in a foreign country, doesn't commit a crime against Jamaica or Jamaicans, commits a crime somewhere else, when that person lands in Jamaica, how is that person supposed to be treated?
That's a very good question.
Can these people sue the Jamaican government?
For what?
No, hold on.
Any reason?
Maria, that's a very good question, So let me just carry on in terms of what Sister Mariam might be asking. Can these people sue the Jamaican government if there was a situation you understand, pending that they were dealing in court in the United States.
Refine that for me. If can they sue?
Okay. Now we know that very well that some of these people who within the TCN programs, right, were definitely taken as it relates to beyond their will, the possibility. I am saying, based on what we read, right, there are certain court pending, so there are certain hearing pending in court as it relates to these people. So then if they were taken, right, beyond against their will, right, can they bring a legitimate case against the Jamaican government or the United States, or both?
Also, before you answer, Ratigan, say for example, one of them has a health issue, the health system is broken, and they do not get adequate health care. Can they sue them for knowing that they don't have a proper health system in place? And they're in that situation because they're taking on situations knowing that they have a broken system.
No, yeah, all right. No, I understand the question. And it's a very good question, because here's what they could even use as proof if they file this lawsuit. The travel advisory, where they say
right.
because of the health situation. So yes,
and the crime,
they definitely could bring the lawsuit, and also keep in mind that the U.S. government, when they're moving these people, they're not supposed to put them in a situation that's worse from where they were in the United States. You can't put them in a worse situation. And the travel advisory tell you that sending them to Jamaica, especially those with health issues, it is going to be worse. So yes, I think that there's enough there for them to file a lawsuit. Look, there are so many questions to be asked, and they don't have the answers. They don't have the answers because they haven't thought this thing through. One of the questions, here's another question, Sister Maria, sorry to interrupt you, is this.
No.
What is Jamaica getting out of this deal?
Wow. That is the question. Because Andrew wants to know, licky, likes. So it is what is it that he's getting? Because if the Haitian government was doing the same thing, those 17 those other Haitians, they'd have been taken care of a long time ago. And these 17 would be taken care of. But you know what I'm thinking, Ratigan? Is that the government is so shady, they lack vision. So they just throw things on the wall, hoping that something will stick. Because when you look at the state of the economy is failing. Foreign direct investments have fallen dramatically. When you look at the effects of low wages on public service workers, and this idea that they have the lowest unemployment in the history of the world is untrue. It's untrue, because a person can work one hour for 3 weeks or for 3 months, and that person is considered 3 months, and that person is considered employed. So when you look at the whole situation, the government is lying to itself and lying to other people to paint a picture that yes, we can make these accommodations. And also, when you look at what has happened since Melissa, there are people still sleeping on the tarpaulin. There are schools that are still destroyed. They're not properly armed. They have not been refurbished. Hospitals still broken. Police stations, water is coming through the roof. So I don't understand how it is that the Jamaican government have found themselves in this kind of situation, and people are asking, and rightfully so, asking questions. Why? Why and how? And they are behaving like you're not entitled to any answers whatsoever, and that makes no sense. Where are they going to get the money from? Because they say a promise is a comfort to a fool in a Ratigan.
All right.
Why you find for me?
Well, all right. Let us change the tune a bit and build up the momentum. Right. Now, let's listen to this now as it relates to Cliff Hughes, because I hear so the pasa, the garner, the pasa now people. Let us get into some of the pasa here, so. Right. Now, let us listen to this.
Holiness has to make the call. Does he fire him or ask him, direct him to resign? Dr. Andrew Wheatley again. Problems with Dr. Andrew Wheatley. And it is part of the story here. History provides context and meaning, you know, as do circumstances of the moment. And frankly, I see where Dr. Wheatley has assembled a powerful legal team to defend his name and honor and reputation. The problem with that is Champagne et al., Dabdoob and Braham, they do their trade in a court of law. It is not a court of law that is forming opinions and coming to conclusions at this stage. It is a court of public opinion. Public opinion. And that's where Wheatley and his team of lawyers have a huge problem. Because in the court of public opinion, they're hanging him. Yeah? Because of the history. And people will cite Petrojam 2018. Again, when I talk to people, again, him again.
Yes, again. So if you be concerned about the political optics, that it really doesn't look good, you understand, because this seems to be a political suicide for both Andrew Wheatley and Andrew Holness. But let me give them back some memory. Let us go down memory lane and hear Andrew. And we are coming back to this because we are traveling down memory lane a bit right now. I want to ask Andrew Holness as it relates to his stand here.
Comfortable sitting in Parliament.
Oh, okay. All right. So let us, as it relates to Andrew Holness' level of discipline and, you know, no-nonsense person, let us travel down memory lane a bit.
We don't feel comfortable sitting in Parliament with a Minister of Government who was openly accepted responsibility, who expresses no regret for the act, where a Commission of Parliament has confirmed that the act is corrupt and has referred it for prosecution. And that minister shows no sign of wanting to resign, or the Prime Minister showing no signs of moving to dismiss the minister.
With all the sympathy that one can have for support, this is embarrassing. Not to the government as a party, not only the PNP, but to the government, to Jamaica, to all of us. Our heads bow this morning with this sort of reaction.
We have to take firm actions in this regard. It is a dark day for Jamaica, where the Prime Minister is unwilling or afraid to act against a minister in which the public has lost total confidence and in which the institutions of the society are all agree that this person does not enjoy their trust or faith and has breached the confidence that the people have placed in them. I believe that this has the potential, if it continues, to bring down the entire government.
Now, when we listen to that, Sister Maria, And the Prime Minister said, we have to take firm action because Azan breached the trust of the people. Now, when we look today, as it relates to, if we are to compare what Azan had done, which Azan did nothing more than, you understand, use money out of his personal pocket, right, and build shelters for those people. Now, Azan did not steal anything. Now, this man being accused, as it relates to over 160 million in illicit enrichment. Now, the Prime Minister chastised Azan where that is concerned and said, it is a dark day. Dark day. I am asking Andrew Holness, what sort of day is this as it relates to Andrew Wheatley being charged? What? Yes, and him under investigation. What sort of day he would define it as? And what he's also saying, Sister Maria, let me put you up. What Andrew Holness is also saying to us, that behavior like this, behavior like that, as it relates to Azan, should not be condoned. And they themselves are not going to sit with him in Parliament. No. On that note, do you believe that, I mean, the opposition should take a page out of his book? I'm just asking.
Yeah, but you see,
you understand, not sitting in Parliament. You understand? Not sitting in Parliament relating to Azan, what Andrew Holness is saying. So I am saying that, you know, looking at that, do you believe that the opposition must take a step similar to what he mentioned?
well, I don't think the opposition should walk out on the people, because they're walking out on Parliament, you're really walking out on the Jamaican people. They have to be strategic in when and how they do it for it to be effective. But there are other ways that they can protest the level of corruption and the corrupt people sitting in the Parliament. And I would hasten to say what they should, whenever they get up to speak, they should really remind the Prime Minister, remind the House that, you know, there's a member of Parliament in here who was chastised for doing something that benefited poor people, the people. And here we are sitting in a Parliament with persons that do things that benefit themselves. So what are we saying? Azan did it wrong. If he had done it to benefit himself, he'd have been fine. But doing it to benefit poor people, it's a dark day. So what do you call this? It's a 10-year nightmare. Because this is not going on for just today. It has been happening for as long as Andrew Holness has set foot in the Parliament. And many of them are compromised. And we cannot forget Xavier Main, because what did Xavier Main do? Xavier Main is under investigation. But what did Xavier Main do? He ran to the courts. And he has a right to do so. But it is convenient how they use the judicial system to benefit them while using it to pressure poor people. And when they talk about addressing corruption and crime, I don't understand why it is that the Commissioner of Police is not addressing white collar crime and addressing and arresting these politicians. And I see now where Wheatley's lawyers are trying to reach out to DPP for her to intervene. And I have the question, is it that we're going to have a DPP that continues in the vein of Paula Lulin with her corruption? Because what Paula Lulin did was straight up corruption. Straight corruption. She did nothing in the interest and on behalf of the people, and she's there to represent the interest of the people, not the interest of the government. And people who are asking for Andrew Wheatley's resignation are really being hypocritical. That's a scapegoat. If you're going to ask for Wheatley's resignation and not for Andrew Holness's resignation, you're joking. because Wheatley and Andrew are basically playing from the same, are basically using the same playbook. So if we want to be honest and we want to address corruption, you have to ask for Andrew Holness's resignation. And the fact that, and people say, oh, the opposition must do this, opposition, you want to tell me that there's not one decent, credible person within the Jamaica Labour Party to say to these corrupt leaders, we cannot have a party like this, this is untenable. So both of you should step aside, resolve your issues, and after those issues have been resolved, then we can, if we feel like it, allow you to come back in. And they talk all the while about the Westminster style of governance, Westminster style of governance. They are not following the Westminster style of governance. How many prime ministers has England been through already? And Andrew Holness is sitting on there with his statutory declarations uncertified for what, 5 years coming now? I mean, because the report that came out last time, and it's still on investigation, the Integrity Commission still has to release another report at the end of this month about the persons and their statutory declarations and Andrew Holness's statutory declarations. So it is rather unfortunate. And when we're talking about Andrew Wheatley, is this the same Wheatley that had a $1,000 US dollar birthday cake?
Oh, yes.
You know, so that's the level of corruption we are talking about. That is the level of corruption we're talking about. So no, Andrew Wheatley shouldn't resign, and nobody should ask for Andrew Wheatley's resignation without asking for Andrew Holness's resignation.
Okay. All right, Brother Ratty, we're on top of the hour, right? You're going to close us out tonight. So based on what being displayed there, what is your take on it in terms of what you have heard Andrew Holness said, right? That he's not going to work in the parliament with Azan. Right?
For doing a good deed.
I mean, now the table turned, and he's now, you know, in the heat as it relates to his statutory declaration, cannot be certified. Andrew Wheatley is the executive member, right? Being recommended for prosecution, right? So, and he said that, you know, he will not work in the parliament with Azan. What is your take on it, Brother Ratty?
Well, as I'm saying, mount make for say anything.
Anything.
So you can't fool people all the time, you know, I try. So, you know.
Why is it, Brother Ratty? You have foot and mouth disease?
Foot. No, I agree. Well, I agree with Sister Maria that you cannot ask for Minister Wheatley's resignation without asking for the Prime Minister's resignation, because they're two peas in a pod. And if you look at both reports, if you look at the facts, they're similar, very similar. Failure or failure to refusal to comply, illicit enrichment, and filing false declaration. Same 3 charges against the Prime Minister.
Same 3 charges.
And the evidence is overwhelming. And all of them, as we proved tonight, people more talk about the forensic examiner's reports. It's there. It's there. I also believe that from time to time, the opposition should walk out of Parliament and go have a people's parliament outside.
Yeah.
They just set it up and just say, hey, when them off in them, we are going to go outside, we are going to have the people them come and we are going to go outside and we are going to compete with them and we are going to talk issues affecting both people and we are going to expose them inside. Every now and again, you need to do that to shake them up. And the thing is, oh, what a tangled web we weave.
When at first you deceive.
Yes, Minister Wheatley. You know, sir, that you should have reported your assets in the United States. And you didn't until they call upon you. These assets you purchased a while back, and you did not tell the Integrity Commission until recently. And you did not tell them the value. You did not. And you did not tell them about the vehicle. You did not. And there are many things you didn't tell them. We know, Minister Wheatley. We know.
Ratty, let me ask you a question, Ratty. Sorry to cut you here. based on the evidence that you look on and as it relates to your level of experience.
Him guilty of sin.
Huh?
Him guilty of sin.
You couldn't even finish the question, man.
But Rattigan, you know, I like sometimes when you talk about their properties in the US, I don't know why they think they can have these properties and it's also going to go on the radar. Because people have goggled his property in Miami, you know, and they found them, you know.
Yeah.
And they can tell you how many bedrooms and all of that. So you see, you know, you know what it is too? They have gotten away with so much Rattigan that it is just normal for them. It's just everyday thing, you know. It's normalized. It's just you can see $400 million can go unaccounted for. You don't have the car, you don't have the money. You can still show up in the parliament and say the honorable minister of lands.
This honorable minister.
Dear God, man.
So Ratty, based on what you are saying, straight prison.
Yeah, man.
Straight
yeah.
prison.
And what it is that I'm just hoping and wishing that the one of these days the Integrity Commission will live up to its mandate by establishing relationships with foreign law enforcement entities.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
But when they investigate all of these people, they say, okay, talk to us. What do they have in the United States? What do they have in Canada? What do they have in the UK? What do they have in Cayman? All these Caribbean islands. They do. Because, Mr. Here's the thing. We have a report, right? We have a report that we can look at and say, okay, we see what these ministers own. And then when we look at the Integrity Commission's report, we don't see these things. And we say, there's a disconnect. They're supposed to do it. If they want to work with us, there are plenty of entities they can work with. I know they don't want to work with me, but there are plenty of entities that they can work with. In fact, I could have get information faster than most of these entities, but that's okay. That's another story. But Minister Wheatley is what he has done based on the evidence that we've seen. There is no credible, legitimate, believable explanation for some of these things. Not all of them, but some of them. And he dragged his feet. And that's why they had to charge him with failing to cooperate with this thing, to provide the information in a timely fashion, because they had to go out and get it themselves. Because if you look at the sequence of events, he kept asking for more time. My lawyer's not on the island. I need more time. I don't understand this. And it is just terrible. So people, fasten your seatbelt and watch and enjoy the ride, because we're in for, well, maybe you shouldn't enjoy it. Maybe you won't enjoy the ride, but we're in for a ride with these people, because it's going to be interesting now to see how the Prime Minister is going to deal with the situation with Minister Wheatley. And last point is this. I'm wife, Speaker of the House, but she have to be a little bit more balanced with the way she do things. Having him sit there and about people are bully and not even recognize, because you're supposed to recognize the Speaker in the House. The Speaker is supposed to recognize a member before they speak and have him a shout, "You're a bully, you're a bully, you're a bully." I'm surprised that they look at him and say, "You're a liar, you're a thief, you're a this." And that's what they should have done to him.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, Rattigan, he's being bullied at home, poor thing.
Maria,
so when he comes into the public space, and anybody got that's the first thing he could say. "Oh, you're bullying me! Stop bullying me!" That is what is happening. But, I have a question for you, Rattigan. Okay?
You know what I think about? You must say you're a bully. Me see my look sideways. Me see my look sideways.
All right. True.
All right. So,
one question for Rattigan before he goes.
Yes.
Given that the IC is an independent body, can they get international funding from, like the European Union, British government, Canadian government, because they are being stifled by the government, basically. So I think it is best for them. I remember Canute, when he was on last week, said the same thing about getting money from
they were funded
the British government.
By the British government.
Yes, they're being funded. They're getting some funding for them. So if they're really properly funded, and as like you say, they just form alliances with other corruption agencies across the world, I think it would go a far way in dealing with the corruption problem in Jamaica, because then they can cross-reference, you know?
You know what would help? And I've seen this done in several Middle Eastern countries. You know what would help? If they hire people from outside the country. With
Outside, exactly. Exactly.
Right? Bring those people in, because them people, them don't know anybody in Jamaica, them just come and them just
work. Do their work.
Some of these investigations, just for special cases, and then you let them go. That's what they should. That's what, because they're understaffed. They're woefully understaffed.
Woefully understaffed. And underfunded, underfunded by the government. So had it not been for these outside help, can you imagine what would be happening? They would have no money.
Exactly. Before I go, Mystic, I just want to let everybody know that tomorrow night, the Wednesday night program, canceled. We're not going to have a program tomorrow night. Just tune in on Saturday at 3 o'clock, 2 p.m. Jamaica time for Reason with Rattigan. Again, a reminder, tomorrow night we will not be on.
All right. Any last thing, Maria?
Listen, the word is love.
She's bullying me, sir. She's bullying me.
All right. No bullying. All right. So
I'm sorry, my brother. I'm so sorry.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where you have it. Let me just hand over to Wifey for Wifey to close us out. And we say, big up to everyone.
All right. Oops. Thank you guys so much for your contribution to the discussion. Really appreciate everybody's input. And thank you so much to the panel for your insightful contribution to the discussion as well. Saturday, tune in to Mr. Rattigan. Baron will be back on Thursday, as well as we'll be back on Friday. So thank you so much for your continued support. Really appreciate it, each and every one, and have a wonderful and blessed rest of the week and safe travel on the gravel.
All right, because Rattigan, I look fierce that.
And until me hear that phrase there.
Exactly.
Safe travel on the gravel. Yeah. Right. God bless. Have a good one.
Blessing.
All right, cool. Yes.
Good.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want to write down that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.